Well, hello, 2L. We're going to talk a little bit about fractions and percents today. So our learning goal is I can successfully explain and demonstrate the relationship that exists between fractions and percents. And the biggest thing that I want you to know here, and I'm going to highlight it right on my paper, is that percent means out of 100. It's in capitals and now it's all in yellow. So that's what you really need to know. Per means out of, and cent, like 100 cents in a dollar, out of 100. Okay, so finding percent is essentially the same thing as finding an equivalent fraction where the denominator is 100. So let's take a look at how we might do that. So we know this is out of 100. So this line means per, and the bottom 100 means cent. Remember, like 100 cents in a dollar? I think I've said that before already. Okay, so let's have a look. How do we figure this out? Well, the top is what we're trying to find. So we have to know what we'd have to multiply in the bottom by. So remember, if you don't know how to get that, you can easily figure it out with your calculator by doing 100 divided by 5, which is 20. So that means 5 times 20 is 100. So if I have to multiply 5 by 20 to get to 100, I have to multiply 2 by 20 to get to what the top is, which is going to be, in this case, 40. And we read it top to bottom, 40%. Now, so this means, and I've given it to you in the context of a word problem here, it says, so if you have 5 cookies and you eat 2 of them, you have eaten 40% of the cookies. So here's an example. We're going to change the following fractions to a percent, and we don't know what these fractions stand for. They could be anything. You could say we have 3 eggs left out of 10 that were purchased, something like that. What percent of the eggs are left? Okay. As long as you know what you have left and what you started with, you can figure out the percent that's left. And so we're going to set this up as being out of 100. And remember, we have to figure out what our multiplier is. So our multiplier here is times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. And if I have to multiply the bottom by 10, I have to also multiply the top by 10. And 3 times 10 is 30. So that means that this is 30%. Now we're going to do it on the other one as well. This has to be out of 100. Do you know what the multiplier is? Of course you do. It's times 4. There's 4 quarters in a dollar, so there's 4 25s in 100. So we have to times by 4. And we have to times by 4 on the top too. Well, what is 17 times 4? That's going to be, I believe, 68. If you don't know, take out your calculator. 17 times 4, and we get 68. So what is missing is 68, which means that 17 out of 25 is 68%. Now, moving right along, if we want to go the other direction, that's even easier. Going back the other way, if we have a percent, we know we can just write that as a fraction of 100. So that means that 20% is the same thing as 20 out of 100. We just use this as our numerator. Numerator. And percent means out of 100. Out of 100. So that's what we use the 20 for the numerator. Out of is the line and 100. So that means if I go over here, 45 is going to be 45 out of 100. Now, if you didn't happen to like this method of finding equivalent fractions for percent, there is actually a little bit of an easier way, especially if you have a calculator handy. So another way to change a fraction into a percent is to first change it into a decimal and then multiply by 100. So we're going to change this into a decimal by doing 3 divided by 10. And if you don't know what that is, we take out the calculator and do 3 divided by 10, which gives you 0.3. 0.3, and now we're going to multiply that by 100, not just by 100, but by 100%, because 100% is actually just 1, basically. So we're going to put times 100%, and that would be 30. So you can type that into your calculator. You can just type in times 100, and then you put the percent symbol on the end. So we're going to do the same thing with 17 out of 25. So we'll do 17 divided by 25 equals 0.68, 0.68, and then you have to times that by 100%, which will give you an easy way. Rather than typing it into your calculator, there's 2 zeros on 100, so when we're multiplying by 100, we just move the decimal place 2 zeros or 2 places over. So that turns into 68%. And that is essentially it. You're going to have a few word problems. If you run into problems with the word problems, I will help you out. But essentially right now, you have a worksheet to complete.